Hey beautiful, Jamie Faye here, Millennial Life and Relationship Coach, and I'm excited about this video that I'm going to do right now for you and to have this conversation with you about what it really takes to transform your relationship with anyone. The 5 things that as a relationship coach, I know that you need to understand and do in order to make a change. So, hey Yael, welcome. So as you hop on, please say hi. And if you're watching the replay, say hi too. So I'm just gonna tag some people. Someone asked me to tag them in the post. Let's see if it came up yet on my Facebook profile. So I want you to take a minute to think about it before I tell you what I know in my experience and my training, what you actually need. Think about it. What do you think you need to do, to understand, to be, to transform your relationship with blank? It can be your partner, it can be your parent, your sister, your friend, your colleague, whatever it is, whomever it is. Okay, let's see if this works. No. Maybe. Nope. Okay. All right. So, the first thing that you need to do to transform your relationship with anyone is to understand and define your commitment to that relationship. And with that relationship and that commitment comes a purpose for that relationship. So it could be your romantic partner, it could be your parent, anyone. What is the purpose of that relationship? And that helps you define and come back to your commitment over and over again. So if you're thinking about a relationship you want to transform and you're watching the replay, you're watching now, let me know who that person is. Or if you're not comfortable sharing who that is, what is it about the relationship that you want to transform? Okay? So that's the first thing. I want to ask you a question if you're thinking, well, I'm committed, they're not committed, or I'm committed, how could I be more committed? The answer of the question is, how do I put this? Who's going to be the person to transform this relationship? Is it the other person? Are they making that effort? Is it going to be you? Is it going to be both of you? Who is it going to be? Because in a relationship, at least one person needs to take on all these 5 things, and the first one is commitment to yourself and to that relationship. Commitment to yourself always has to be there in order for you to have a successful relationship with anyone, committing to your own needs and fulfilling your own needs. But on top of that, the commitment to the relationship has to be there. So if this makes sense to you or you have a question about this, tell me. What's not clear? How can I be more clear? What's your question about commitment to the relationship? And ask yourself, who's gonna do it? Who's gonna bring it? Are you gonna bring it, or are you gonna let the other person take charge and they're gonna be responsible? Are you gonna give up responsibility for your relationship because you are responsible? You're responsible for how you feel. You are responsible for how you act and what you give, etc. So if you're here, say hey so that I know that you're here and I can support you. Okay. The second thing you need is really amazing emotional intelligence, or at least pretty good empathy, and to understand people so well and to study ways of understanding other humans and other people so that you can relieve yourself of this sorry, am I getting something? Okay. Hi, say hey if you're here. Relieve yourself of this constant criticizing of the other person and not understanding them, feeling like you just don't get them, or them feeling, or you feeling that they just don't get you. So the other skill set that you need is really a high level of empathy, which doesn't come just naturally. It's a skill, and high levels of empathy don't just come from, oh, I feel people and I feel he's angry, okay, I have high empathy. It's much more than that. It's learning frameworks that you can use at any moment and all the time in order to really get that. So The next one is communication. To transform a relationship with anyone, you need to work on your communication skills and understand how to communicate with that person. So as you jump on, say hi, so I know you're here. And when you learn how to communicate with people individually, hi, I see people, say hello, and communicate with people where they're at their communication style, then you can absolutely transform your relationship because you're coming to them from a new point of view, not just the way you normally communicate. You could say, I'm a great communicator, but if you don't know and don't identify with how that person communicates, how that person digests things, how that person deals with conflict, then you can't communicate with that person no matter how good your communication skills are, because communication skills are totally relative. If you don't know how to talk to the person you're talking to. So let me know what you're thinking about this. And 1 second. Someone's trying to get on. She's not succeeding on watching the video. I don't know. She'll have to get us next time. So that's really important. So I would love to know from you, if you're here live or you're watching the replay, what about your communication with this person that you're thinking about is lacking? Do you feel like there's no communication, there's anxiety about conflict, about things that you want to talk about or they want to talk about with you? Does it just explode? Does the person, jump away when there's conflict? Do you or does this person get into a really strong, stubborn place about certain subjects, etc.? So think about that. And that is the third thing that you need in order to really transform your relationship and take it from meh to amazing and take it from conflict to ease. So the fourth thing is a guide. No matter how many books you've read and so on and so forth, we always need someone who's going to come in at different stages of our relationship, who knows what they're doing, who's trained as a relationship coach or relationship therapist who studies coaching as well. As long as you are in a healthy relationship and there is no abuse, then an amazing relationship coach, someone with my training, can help you 100% in teaching you the skills, the tools, and the strategies to change what's happening right now, to go from meh to amazing, to go from conflict to ease. So that is the fourth, yes? And the fifth thing is patience. This goes with also the commitment of you deciding that you're going to commit to this relationship in a newfound commitment of, now I'm committing to this relationship for 3 months, for 6 months, to really dedicate, to really put in the work of all these things. And patience comes with that. Because if you start learning things, whether you're working with a coach or reading a book, and you try learning something and you try implementing something, and then a week later you're like, oh my gosh, this didn't work. Oh my gosh, our relationship isn't transformed. Well, then you need to work on your patience, because yes, you can see changes within one conversation. You can feel shifts when you're really skillful and you're really doing all the things we talked about before. You can absolutely see things. But sometimes the person that you're trying to work on your relationship with is in a place of distrust, is in a place of not feeling safe, and it may take longer for them to see your commitment in growing and changing and transforming that relationship. So patience is super, 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 super big. So let's see if I can add this person from here. I would love to know, if you're here, if you have any question about anything that we talked about. So we talked about 5 things that you need to do or be or understand in order to transform any relationship. Let's see. So now is the time to do it. I'll review quickly these things. So we've got commitment, empathy, and true understanding, okay, which is not just regular emotional intelligence understanding, it's much deeper than that. Communication and learning how to communicate with different types of people and having your person in mind when you're communicating with them, and not putting on a hat of like, I know how to communicate, because every person needs a different type of communication. A guide, someone to be there for you, to help as a translator. One of my jobs yay, Libby, you made it. So 1 second. Can you describe, like, get more specific in your question, please? Because I don't know exactly what you're referring to. So a guide that allows you to be the translator. One of my jobs as a coach, as a relationship coach, is to be a translator. Not all the time, but to be this outside understanding and knowing the vision and the goals of both people, whether I'm working with both people in the partnership or just one person, and understanding what's getting lost in translation and teaching you the skills, the tools, and strategies that you need in order to be happy in yourself and to do all these things. The communication, the commitment, the empathy, all of these things. So, Libby, I've got a few minutes, so please reframe your question a little bit so I understand about what you mean by even a relationship that doesn't exist yet. I'm writing to you on Messenger. Can you be more specific, please? Okay. Once we get Libby's question, I'll answer her, and then... So if you're hopping on now or in the replay, take a minute to think about all these steps. Which of these steps have you got? Are you in a place in your relationship, even a relationship that's not romantic, where you're thinking, yeah, I'm committed because it's my mother. Yeah, I'm committed because it's my best friend. Are you really? Are you committed to that change in your relationship? So I'll give it a few more seconds because there's a delay. What else can I share with you? This is really important for me because what I've been hearing over the past couple of days from people is like feeling also that people don't understand what an amazing relationship they can create, and how feeling meh in a relationship is not good enough by my standards. And it doesn't mean that your relationship has to feel all of your needs all of the time and feel amazing, but you know, okay, Libby, I won't. I'm gonna share something, so stay on, about questions and answers. So what about how you're feeling in this relationship? I lost my train of thought. That's okay. It happens. So one of the things that I realized over the past couple of days is that people don't really may not understand what relationship coaching or what investing in yourself or your relationship can do for your life. And when often people only look for solutions. Do you sometimes not look for solutions when things are bad, when you're in crisis? And that's not the time to look for a solution. The time to grow is right now, before you're in a relationship, like I talked about yesterday in my video, before you're married, before all of these decisions and crises and children and moving across the world come up. So now is the time. So that's why I wanted to give you these things. These are the things you need to really make transformation in your relationship with anyone. So I hope that you learned something in this video and it was valuable to you. You can leave me some hearts. I'd love that. So I know that you enjoyed this and you're here. And yeah, and if you want to learn more about the Relationship Mastermind that's opening up online, if you're abroad, please let me know and I'll send you that information so you can go on the waiting list and know exactly when the dates come out. You can have your discovery session and we can get that set up. And if you're in Tel Aviv and you're still interested in joining our Relationship Mastermind here, let me know and we'll see what the availability is for that, and maybe, this one or the next one that's coming. So thank you so much for being here and have an awesome day or night. Kisses to you all. Bye-bye.